All right. I'll try to project a little bit. Okay.
Hello. Hi.
Hola. You still busy? Never mind. I'll carry the show. It's fine. Welcome to the Night Job Podcast. You're here with Ven Deezel the Tiger Dragon, aka Ven Deezel, aka Deezel the Optimist, and I am joined here by my beautiful, successful, and super dope wife, Efia Potrie.
Efia. How you say my name?
I thought I said that. Efia, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said it differently. It's Efia. Hi, everybody. I'm Efia Potrie. We're not recording anymore.
Yes, it's fine. We're fine.
Oh, okay. And this makes me like super self-conscious about every little thing that I do now.
I know, right?
But like,
hence the hesitation.
But I've made a conclusion that I'm gonna do two things on the podcast. I'm gonna have my cheek gems because I think they're cute, and I'm gonna wear anime shirts every podcast because that's what I like to do. Every now and then a dress, but definitely anime somewhere.
Okay, well, sounds like we need to get more of them then. Huh?
I got like a significant amount of shirts already that I don't wear. They're just sitting in there that I could wear. So yeah, I don't think I need more. I mean, I can always, if you have shirts you want to, give, then I mean, all means I can always repurpose shirts if I need to. But you can make them the way I like to make them because like t-shirts are boring, like the way that they are. You just gotta give them some personality, like pretty much cut them up and figure out how to put them back together. Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are here now.
I want some music.
Yeah, me too. But
this is so weird.
Yeah, I didn't have time to prepare that particularly. So, all right. So you had the, I guess the itinerary.
Yeah. So let me tell you about this.
I want to start with violence.
Bro, like you went straight to like the neck. It's like, well, damn, can you caress me first? Like, what the fuck? Like, meld me first? Like, do I have to go straight to like touch the titty? Ooh, like, can we work our way there?
I mean, that's what the people want to see. Like,
no, the people want authentic relation. Like, they don't want like net chopping off. I mean, like, granted, people do enjoy. I mean, guillotine. There's the reason why there was a whole crowd when people would get beheaded. But people like the suspense of getting there. It's not just like the beheading. Like, they want the before beheading, the pre-beheading. Well, I'm not talking about beheading. I don't know, but
so you're thinking film, and this is social media where they just like violence. They like.
Well, it depends on who you're going for. I'm not going for the person that wants to. Well, Kevin. What was the dude named Kevin? The one that died.
McAllister?
No, the one that was like all men should be getting women who have big butts and small waists, and if they're not a 9, don't give them time. Like, what was the dude name?
Kevin Samuel.
That person. Like, everybody don't want Kevin Samuel vibes. Like, I watched him a couple times, and I'm like, bro, who is listening to this dude? And why are people who don't even believe in him being like, well, maybe. No, bitch, there is no maybe. Like, there is, like, don't double get. What I'm trying to get to is my audience. I'm not going for people who are like, Kevin Samuels, rock on. I'm going for the audience that's like,
those are people we need to be speaking to.
Probably. But that's not my focus. They're fucking trolls at the end of the day. Who I really want is people who are like, damn, how am I supposed to do this? Where's the manual? I want people who are looking for the manual. That's what I want. I want people who be like,
sometimes they're the same people.
I doubt it. Like, because people who are looking for a manual are not accepting those.
They think Kevin Samuels is the manual. That's why they were over there.
No. Yeah. People who follow Kevin Samuels are looking for a reason to be assholes.
Well, they already had a reason. They just had some validation behind it.
He gave validation and he made them feel that they are not wrong. They were probably questioning them. I don't know who them people are. They were like, Am I doing this wrong? Should I be dating other women? Should I be finding other men? And they're like, Kevin
you're talking about
Samuels.
yeah. Well, of course the women were. I mean, what other reason would you go except
To be
for
destroyed.
attention?
Well, I may not be a 7, Kevin, but I am definitely a 9 when it comes to my finances. Will you make six figures? Well, I will one day. Like, he was just destroyed. Like, you went to him because you wanted somebody to help you commit some shit. Like, he was not the person that you go to for motivational uplifting or for direction. You went to him because you wanted to make sure that when you told this bitch to know over here that you was just fine. No, bitch, you were 8.5. I only fuck with 9s. Like, what your ugly ass? What I was you doing? Sorry. I'm going on a rant, but I don't want Kevin Samuels people who are stuck in Kevin Samuels ways. If you watched Kevin Samuels beforehand, no disrespect. I have nothing against him, and I'm not trying to scare you away. I'm just merely saying that his perspective was not one that you adopt if you want to have a healthy relationship. He was very standard in tradition, like gender roles. He was very traditional in and everything that he did. And we're not living in the world of tradition. We're living in the world of progress and not necessarily equality, but like of potential. Like that's not where I live. I'm like, no.
That's a rabbit hole. Don't let me forget that, okay?
I don't want to do that rabbit hole.
It's a good rabbit hole, though. Here's my thing, though. I know people who are on the red pill, Manosphere, Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit, bullshit. They're looking for something. They're looking for some sort of answer. They're looking for, of course, validation behind whatever they already think. But at the end of the day, if you can get some real answers, you'll take that. And for me, if I have to lead you into it with a little toxicity, I'm fine with that. They come for the toxicity. I'm telling you. That's what the algorithm feeds on. So you got to play the game a little bit. But.
Well, for me, I am a no toxicity person. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. I am a no toxic person, so I don't have time for that. I got too much going. Huh? You say what?
What?
You just called me a liar?
No.
You're on camera. I can rewind this later and look at it. What are you talking about?
But will you?
No, I won't. I guess I'll finish it. Anyway, I'm usually fuck that. I'm not toxic. Like, he trying to sell the idea that I have a little bit in me. If I do, it's from shit that I had no control over and I was raised into and I'm working through anyway. But to say that I am toxic, like, bro, I ain't got time. I got shit to do. I got some moves to make. I'm hollering, shaking over here. I got shit to do. I ain't got time for this shit. No. Anyway, today, I'm gonna tell you his itinerary. I'm gonna tell you mine, and please just bear with me. So he
we can
said,
wait for mine.
No. We're gonna acknowledge it today.
We only got like about an hour and a half to do this, so mine can wait. It's fine.
We got 45 minutes. I just want to still bring it up because I want people to realize like this is what we could be talking about if we have the time today. Okay. But from what do I call you? I'm not just calling you this.
Just Deezel.
Deezel? Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna call him Deezel. I don't call him Deezel.
No, she doesn't.
At home.
No, she calls me God.
I do though. Anyway.
I'm like, no, Deezel is fine.
You ever have a moment with your significant other when you guys finish having relations that they just stay in like the superhero pose and they hand on hips? That's him.
I totally have a Superman shirt too.
Hey, that's him. Anyway,
I need a new
Yeah.
one.
His itinerary was why you don't hear from happy couples.
That's a really good one.
That's a good one. I'll give you that. Humility and confidence. Okay. Sidebar. The red pill loop. Right wing connection.
That's really more of a mental note. Like, that's something I want to get into, but we don't have to do that right
now. Interesting. And, advice for lonely men. All right, let me pause right there. Like, I read this. I'm like, the right wing connection. Like, granted, I enjoy going back and forth with him about theories, It'll be interesting to see how that works out. But this advice for lonely men, bro. Let's talk about that for just for a split second. Not even on the subject, but just like the. Aren't we talking to people who want to develop families?
Yeah.
So why the fuck do I care about people who are lonely men? Lonely men don't want to develop families in the moment.
Of course they do. They're lonely because they can't do it, or they don't think they can do it. That's the thing. You don't think you can. It's not that you can't. You don't think you can. You don't believe in yourself. That's the problem.
So we're making a podcast for family development.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, the lonely, not women, but men should be a conversation too. Because you feel like lonely men play a role in family development.
Lonely men play a role in how the dating pool is going to be fucked up in the future. Because those are the people who run behind Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate and all this shit, follow that shit, and these women have to deal with that. Like, there's no family going to get started if that's most of your dating pool.
Okay, so let's stop right there. The family won't get started. Hopefully, a person who's running after Kevin Samuels' theologies is not. If they are, women seek help ASAP. Because I'm getting right. Number one. Number two, we can't help there. I'm not giving. I guess, and no, we can't. Because I'm trying to help you build a better family. Mm-hmm. And you're like, but you got to start with a single man, single woman. It's like, I get it to a certain extent.
Where else
but it do start with, a man and a woman meet each other, and then they
call the store, and then
yeah,
he FedExes
a sperm, and then she finds the egg, and so you're right. It does start with single people, but single people who have some sense of development. I guess I don't know if I'm going to be focusing on developing the single person. Like, and then I have an issue with the fact that they say lonely men. Like, there are more lonely women in this world than lonely men. Statistically speaking, there's a 2-to-1 ratio. So there are more women in this world than men. So if you're going to be focused on loneliness, then it should be both sides, and most likely the woman's side. But, I again feel like being lonely isn't necessarily the problem in being single. Like, being lonely is a state of mind, in my opinion. Like, it's being lonely is one of those, I wish I had somebody. And if you're wishing you have somebody, you don't recognize the kind of freedom or like freedom that you have in being single. Like, that's the part that I guess I personally don't want to focus on, because when I was single, I had like maybe like a year where it was like, I just want consistent dick, if it's not in a relationship with standards established, has way more headaches than anything else attached to it. Like, the stories of me dating or me trying to find like a friend with benefits are so much more drama and toxic and please don't ever leave me, I don't want to be single again type of moments. Like, I don't want that. And so I guess I personally don't feel like focusing on the lonely mindset is worth my time, because that is your issue. Like, we have a thing in this household where we say your feelings are your issue. And granted, we working through that every now and then, but overall, like, that legitimately is your issue. If you're lonely, if you feel like you're in this world by yourself, you're not around the right people, you're not listening to the right music, you're not doing the right things to really enjoy your life. You don't know yourself. So I'm sorry, but you probably should take time to do that shit. Like, that is what we call root work. That is basic work that you need to do to figure out how the hell you gonna grow. Because you cannot grow if you just focus on, I'm just so lonely. I'm in the shade without any sun, and I cannot grow as a person. It's like, okay, like, I can't help you. Like, what can I do for you? So,
it's really cool.
What?
You probably help people with that without really wanting to help them.
I'm gonna help you by focusing on what life could be if you got your ass out the damn shade. Like, stop throwing yourself shade. It's like, be your best friend. God damn.
I was talking to baby number one last night.
Offspring number one.
Yeah. And she was telling me about how I had asked her about, does her boyfriend, like, does he get into all the, the Manosphere, Red Pill, Kevin Samuels shit? And she was like, yeah, he been watching that shit. And I was like, yeah, he's starting to like kind of internalize it. And, God damn, it got him too. I had hope for him, but yeah.
Seriously? And he with somebody now?
This is what I'm saying.
Does he make 6 figures?
No.
Like, does he ride a Rolls Royce or does he have a Bentley or a Benz? Like, you can't even put yourself in those fucking shoes unless you can check off some check boxes. Like, the fuck?
Right. But that's why I say that speaking to quote unquote lonely men, he's probably not one of them, of course. He's with my daughter, but speaking to those men, like, we're gonna save a lot of women headaches by mitigating that as much as possible if we can. Like giving a different perspective, so like you ain't running around here fucking up the dating pool, being all ultra toxic and shit.
But I think that's a phase. Like everybody has a phase where their shit don't stink.
It's old ass niggas on this shit.
I mean,
Kevin Samuels was an old ass nigga on this shit.
Yeah, and I've met people like him, and it's just like, what?
And it's antiquated thinking. Like, it's not, like, this shit isn't, like, new. This is old misogyny a little bit.
And which is why I said that I think Kevin had a lot of tradition in him. So, like, he was very, sex roles, like cisgenders or gender roles or whatever. He was like, well, if you're a hot woman, you shouldn't have to work. He should be trying to figure out how to maintain your hotness. And if you're not a hot woman, then you don't have nothing but pussy. So, what you doing for him? It's like, what?
That's just being shallow.
He is very shallow. And people really start taking into that mindset. But anyway, that is a rabbit hole that deserves a few sessions, not just one, because breaking down everything, like, we had to literally pull up videos to watch his shit and to be like, let's talk about every sentence and the words and the sequence of the words he's saying to help you realize how, I don't say dumb, because dumb sounds dumb, how dumb this shit was. Like, the fuck? Like, are you seriously gonna believe this shit? Like, just because it's not a typical fallacy does not mean it's still not a fallacy. Like, the dude got issues. Like, and his underlining issues is, anyway. But that was, and he wanted, and of course, Deezel want to talk about Andrew Tate, which,
yeah, I was gonna say,
I don't know who the fuck Andrew Tate is.
We went all the way back to Kevin Samuels, but there is worse than him.
Who is Andrew Tate?
Worse.
What does worse look like?
The worst.
Like, give me what does that mean?
Oh, boy. We'll get to it.
Is he like a Jeffrey Dahmer type Kevin Samuels? Like, is he like,
yes,
like kidnapping?
Yes.
Oh, shit. I should actually read up on it before we start talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to read.
I mean, I was thinking, like, just kind of like introduce you to it, so you can kind of be like have like a reaction, to it on the podcast. But yeah, I mean, if you want to do some research first, that's fine.
No, I don't want to be completely blindsided. Yeah, just completely blindsided because I'm not ready for nothing that heavy. Like, God damn,
you will be clutching the pearls that I haven't bought you.
Okay. Well, I guess we just spent time on that. We spent 20 minutes talking about that. I figured that we should be a little bit more casual with this conversation of first meeting you. Okay. Hi, you. How are you doing so far? Did we lose you? I'm sorry. I can't say it gets better. Like, you really just heard a lot of people. Yeah. Okay. Well,
it can only get better.
Well, that's proper me. I want to talk about things like who we are, why we think we're qualified to talk to you.
That's a great one. Why on earth should you be listening to
us? And then we go into like how we met and blah 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 blah. So, hi again, Efia Potrie here. You hear me? Like, I have a lot of things. I am a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. A daughter-in-law. I am in sales. I'm in software sales. And that's a whole dynamic, but I'm not sure if I'll talk about that here. I don't identify with any religions at the current moment, and that can any change. That may change, but I doubt it. I believe in love. I believe in God, and is plural, I guess. At the end of the day, God. I believe in like peace. I believe in the yin and yang. I believe in karma. I believe in energy. Ooh, I believe in energy. I believe in energy a lot, actually. But most of all, I believe that my life's goal right now is to build a legacy. Our life's goal is to build a legacy, and this podcast is the whole start of that. Um, I believe that when you're good at something, it's really up to you to share with people why you're good with it, because you know other people may be looking for it. So I have a lot of stories. I've been through a lot. Spiritually speaking, I was a Christian at one point in time, so my gifts are strong, if you will. And outside of Christianity, like my personality is strong, and my will to manifest is strong. So if somebody would say, oh shit, that's not my name. Anyway, hey Efia, um, who are you? I would say that I am a human who believes in efficiency, who believes in evolving, and who believes in love. And those three things identify my mindset at all times. And if it's not following one of those three things, then I probably don't care about it. I would say that I am looking forward to sharing with you what has and hasn't worked in a very transparent and sometimes brutal manner. I am still learning, but I feel that I have learned enough to share with you why I've been successful. Deezel?
I am Venom the Tiger Dragon, aka Ven Deezel, aka Diesel the Optimist. Um, about me, writer, lyricist, editor, analyst, uh, also a deep believer in love for a long time. Um, I think that's something that's lost a whole lot with people in this space nowadays. They think that's like like a myth or something. Um, what else? Got a daughter, which I didn't like really get into this whole thing, like focused on what her future's gonna be like and all this. But after talking to her last night, like, okay, well, yeah, this is gonna be a thing. So uh, that's a motivating factor for why I want to share what we have. What we have is not what you would call traditional. It doesn't match up with a whole lot of things that people are saying right now is supposed to work. It's a lot more nuances involved, and um, yeah, I mean we're making it work in ways that I guess your average person, I guess, wouldn't think that it can.
The person looking from the outside in person. And even the person that's looking from inside, like who are trying to figure out why it's not working. We got you too.
Like if you're looking from the outside, like unless you knew the details, you think like everything's perfect, and we almost are. But
What the fuck?
but the fact is, like, you don't know why it works, and if you got into the details, you start probably asking questions like, well, how do you do that, and she does this and you do that, and she thinks this and you think that. And, that's where those nuances come into play. It's never just, this side does this and then this side does that, and that's going to work for everybody. It's That's not how it works at all. Like, you play to each other's strengths.
What you have in front of you today is an anomaly. Like in separation. It seemed like it shouldn't be. It seems like we're the typical, family who's striving for the American dream according to what they say it is. No, like what you have before you is a hardcore Democrat, in my opinion, and I'm a Republican, all things considered. And it's to say that conservative, liberal, like, and then it still works in the middle sometimes. Like we both believe in progression. So how does progression look when both sides are separate? You're looking at a person who, I come from a Christian background, Christian Baptist, and I mean like real, like all of the church 5 days a week type of deal, compared to a person who, do you call yourself an atheist now, or what do you call yourself? Agnostic?
I'd say agnostic.
Right. Agnostic person who doesn't come from the same, upbringing when it comes to having to go to church and being fully immersed in like I was. You have two different parenting styles. I'm militant. He's a lot more, maybe conscientious, maybe?
Let go and let life.
Conscientious, I'll say that. I think that sounds better. So we are not the same people by no means, but we are strong in what we believe in, and yet because we have the one factor between us keeping us aligned, we work well with each other. And that one thing, believe it or not, is love. Simple.
To be even more specific, and I'm gonna be like driving this home a whole lot. A foundation in friendship,
bro. Like that part, like. Because if we wasn't friends, we wouldn't be here today. Yeah, like legitimately.
Like homies for real.
Yeah, like real talk. Play the game together and everything. Talk shit, argue, everything. We do all that shit. So yeah, like and I guess that goes to the second question I had is, what time is this for? Okay, why are we qualified to talk to you about relationship? We just kind of covered it a little bit, but we've been together. I've known him for. I've been around it off like 17 years. I've known him for a while. However, please don't say, well, 17 years. This doesn't count. Nah, bro. Like we spent like 10 years away from each other, completely, siloed in what we were doing and what we were going through. So, we've known each other for 17 years. We've known about each other for 17 years. We haven't been that intimate with each other, as in not sex, but like as in knowing who you are for 10 of those years. But the past 7 years, right? I think it was 7 years now. 7 years in April, I believe. We've known each other for 7, and we got married probably like a year and a half into us getting back together. And though we don't have, the decades on, oh, I'm old and crippled, but let me tell you about you. We don't have that. But what we do have is something so much more tangible and so much more relatable. Like, we went through the fights, and I come from a very, and I'm not gonna say broken household, but definitely scarred. Definitely, a lot of barriers and obstacles. I don't know if I'm talking about, but I was molested growing up. I was raped growing up. I was um, I was stereotyped. I was put into all the different, she's a black woman, so she must be angry. I was the angry black woman. Like, I've been all that shit. You hear me? From my perspective and from other people's perspective. I was a huge tomboy growing up, so I had to deal with that. I was called fast growing up, which was weird because how am I tomboy and fast in the same person? But whatever. But I was, I wouldn't, I was very promiscuous one point in time to, handle my rape. Like, what you see before you is the end result of a lot of work, a lot of root work, a lot of introspection, and application of new ideas and trial and error. So before I got with him, I went through all of that, and him and himself, he got a background too that it's probably more typical and more normal than we will, I as a person wouldn't want it to be, you know?
It's a slightly elevated level of toxicity in my background. Not quite as much as she's been through, but I guess along my path, I would say like if I had to write my life story, this is something I kind of struggle with rapping too. Everybody who rap, the people who really get a following, they have a story.
Right.
50 Cent has a story, T.I. has a story, Eminem has a story, Jay has a story. And for a long time, I didn't really have a story.
We're developing
I would just flex some vocabulary and shit like that. At this point, and for a while now, I would say my story has been in love. It's been in the relationships um, that I've made and the relationships that made me. A whole lot of that formed how I am now. Like I said, the toxicity. Like I had within that 10 years that we were apart, I was going through some bullshit, and it took me learning those lessons and understanding where my boundaries should be for me to come out of that and be able to appreciate something, something that I knew would be better for me instead of just focus on, okay, well, I'm here. I should be loyal to the fact that I'm here, and I got kids here and all this type of stuff. It's like, yeah, but how long do you deal with being mistreated? And then knowing that there's something better out there. Like having that example early on, like I had a long distance relationship, even though I believe in that for some reason, but a long distance relationship that showed me the positive side of what a relationship could be. Behind that, I had purgatory of a relationship for 10 years. And knowing that positive experience is something that's out here, I was open to still finding that.
Right.
And then it kind of just landed in my lap.
Literally.
I mean, more like in my DMs, but
Yeah, that part, it was like, literally. Like, now we can talk about that real quick, because we could do like a high level and then we get into like how that connects. But I know one thing that I was thinking while you were talking just now was like Deezel is the epitome of nice guy finished last month. In my opinion. I'm not sure if you believe, if you think that's the same, but I feel that he, throughout everything he'd been through in his past, like nice could have been synonymous with naive, could have been synonymous with undervaluing himself. It could be synonymous with a lot of things, but nice, I learned that nice at one point in time was actually not a good word to use to describe people, which I should bring that up. Let me do it right now. What was nice back in the days was not something that you wanted to be. Do you remember what it was? And one thing that I would love to do is use this platform to introduce you to people that we follow, rather be Instagram or Facebook or whatever. But there's some people who I feel that everybody should be watching what moves they make, and it's not because we want to be groupies, but it's more so because they provide you information that helps break down the stereotypes that him and I are working on. I'm not trying to really break down stereotypes. I'm trying to reestablish like new ones. Like somebody got to break them down. Somebody can build them up. Like I would like to be more responsible for building them up than anything else. But I follow this person on Instagram where like her whole entire thing is sex education, and nice was a word that and I'm pulling up on Google, so I don't really have the details, and maybe I could hit you with the details one day. But nice at one point in time meant silly or foolish. And so it was I know, right? I gotta research the word myself. But it meant in the 14th century, according to dictionary.com, nice meant to be ignorant in the 14th century. It was used to refer to a stupid, ignorant, or foolish person. Isn't it amazing how the words lost that original?
Right.
Or maybe it didn't. Maybe we've just revamped what nice looks like. Because maybe nice before was like a person who was like, "Oh, that's so sweet of you," and you'd be like, "Oh, she's so nice." It was like, well, why would you call a person sweet? It's just something real stupid, or it's like, or something inconsiderate. It's like, I think we call people nice. Yeah, like we call people nice who we aren't doing nice shit. It's like, oh, that's so. I've used word nice. Oh, that's so. Bless your heart. That's so nice of you. It's like, yeah. Anyway, like, and maybe it's one of those. Maybe it was sarcastic right on point in time, but I do think that I give power to words. I believe words have power, and I believe that that's something that I want to reestablish myself. Is for people to recognize that words are so much more valuable than what we give them. They're so much more powerful than the amount of energy we give them. You listen to the wrong music so long, it's just a matter of time before you embody that music. And what's shaping your mental about the music is not just the beat; it's also the words they're saying. You know, people who are like, well, this music tainted my daughter. Stripper music is like, it didn't fully taint your daughter, but probably didn't help your daughter. Or your son. We got booty shaking in both ways. But either way,
it's a rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit hole. I'm willing to go down it.
I would say it's not that words have power; it's that ideas have power.
Which are more about words, but okay, yeah, I got you.
Embodied, yeah.
Yeah.
It's how we communicate them, but it's really more the ideas. And then, like your example about stripper music and all that. I think there's a correlation between the music you listen to and the environment that you're in and how close you are to the things in the music you listen to.
Sure.
If you think about, gangster rap, that's still like a really big industry, a really big genre in rap. But the only people who are negatively affected by it is
people who found
black people generally, and people in those communities, those neighborhoods. White people aren't out here shooting each other and all this shit because they listen to Young Thug or drill.
Well, they don't shoot people with bullets. They use law. We're gonna destroy you with the law that we wrote to destroy you. It's like
if white kids get the shooting, it's gonna be one white kid and he's gonna shoot up a whole school. But black people, the environment that a lot of us are from, everybody's able to get a hold of a gun. Everybody's looking for one. Everybody's dealing in, something that they ain't got no business dealing in. And the music just validates what they're already doing.
Right.
So it's not so much a chicken and egg argument. Like, there was a chicken, which is how we were already living. And it produced this music, which just validates what we were already doing in the first place.
I dig it. I dig it. I don't remember where we were going before that. I don't remember where we were going before that. But I absolutely do believe that words have power, and we as humans can wield the energy that we all have properly, or we can do it ignorantly. And I feel like the majority of people are doing it based out of ignorance because they don't know. And then you meet somebody who is making the real move according to what they want. You start questioning. That's a coincidence, so that's luck, bro. When you get in a position like we're in, there is, for me, I don't believe in luck. This is hard work. This is diligence. This is root work. This is focus. This is determination. This is discipline. This is not luck. No, not luck. So, I don't know. But I think a lot of this stuff speaks to what we're going to be talking about with time. I want to spend some time talking about our our beginning of our success. Because I say beginning of our success. You know what? I'm not gonna call it that. I'm gonna say our redo because when we first got together, it was a little rocky. It wasn't like, oh, success, let's run together. It was like, who the fuck are you? Like it was a little weird, but
and I can already imagine some of the toxic chat coming in talking about, oh, you was a sucker, man. You shouldn't have got back with her. All that other bullshit.
oh, suck it dick. So yeah. So I guess and that's another thing to speak to about, the haters gonna hate and like legit, bro. I ain't trying to change your mind. Like, ain't my job to change your mind. You could listen to the next session so you can find something else to bitch about. Be my guest listen about. Like, I don't care, but
hopefully you learn something.
But people who come in here to actually like to try to understand our dynamic better, please understand that this is our dynamic. Like, we're not preaching to every other dynamic out there. We have a recipe. Really, he has a recipe of what, he thinks it takes for people to be successful relationships. But we live it. Like, we are the living embodiment of that recipe at the end of the day. So, we can only give you our experience and hope that, it helps you mold your expectations, your boundaries, and your ability to love. Because I think the problem behind all of this nowadays is nobody fucking know what love's supposed to look like. We know what love look like on TV. That shit is fake. We know what love look like in our parent relationships who went through divorces or who have toxic relationships. Like, I don't think enough people see what love looks like. Like, love looks like that couple who still celebrates Valentine's Day at, 70 years old. Like love is cheesy at the end of the fucking day. Like, love is cheesy. Love is vulnerable. Love is it's.
You gotta find the scripture about that.
Are we bringing the Bible out, bro?
And you know what's funny? I was thinking all today. It's like, I need to stop saying that I'm not the Bible guy because I always find a way to quote it.
But yeah, I don't say I'm not a Bible person. I know the Bible. I'm aware of the Bible, but
there's a scripture in there about what love is.
Yeah, I can bring it up for you because it's something that I
But in a nutshell, like, with love, like, you can't run around being tough, and I know, like, that's a root of a lot of why people operate the way they do. They're trying not to get used. They're trying not to get hurt, not get taken advantage of. And at some point, like, you gotta learn how to trust somebody in order for it to really go anywhere. Otherwise, it is all transactional. It's a favor for a favor. Like, you might as well sign a W-2 on the shit.
So I guess it depends on which definition you want to go with in the Bible. Some people go with the whole love is patient, love is kind. Like, I personally don't go by that definition, but I guess it's because I am who I am. So, the one scripture. So, and I please mind you, I am not as a Bible person. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not a person that pushes scripture to solidify everything I believe in. But there is something to be said about almost all religions having the same perspective of love at the end of the day. And I can do better to provide you with how other religions view love, because I think that will help you understand how basic love really is at the end of the day. Like, love is not complex. Love is simple. And anything outside of simplicity is not love. In my opinion.
It's the devil.
I didn't say that, even though I was totally thinking it. Yeah, but that's my Christian mind who went to church. When I went to church, they would say stuff like, well, if things are complex, that's the devil bringing in complexities. Love is simple. Love is God. I'm like, okay. So you're telling me that him saying he was my friend when we're together, but now we're not together, it's too complex? It's like, oh, okay, cool. But anyway, so it's two scriptures. One of them is 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 7. Love is patient, love is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not brag. Love is not proud. Love does not behave itself inappropriately. Love does not seek its own way. Love is not provoked. Love takes no act account of evil. Love does not rejoice in unrighteousness. Love rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things. Love believes all things. Love hopes all things. Love endures all things. And so, out of all the things I just read, the only thing that I'll hold true to my heart is love endures all things. I like that. That is a foundation for me. The other one that I go by is Galatians 5:22-23. But the fruit of spirit is love, peace, joy, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There against such there is no law. I go by Galatians because for me personally, it's just 20 words. The other one, I like straightforward. Like love is joy, peace, patience, like all those things. I'm not saying that I'm the best at, but I try my best to practice them. And I find that we are more successful when I'm putting those traits in front of myself. We don't encounter my anger, which is vicious and ruthless and shouldn't be fucked with, whenever I'm being more patient and forgiving. But when I'm being patient and forgiving, shit. But I try not to cross that bridge because I don't like being angry, because anger causes so much destruction in every place in my life. Like I could be angry for one thing. I lied. I cannot be angry for one situation. Like I can't be like mad at him and then not take it out on everybody that I'm around, because I've allowed myself to feel that. I call it spirit or energy. I've allowed myself to feel that energy, and now it wants to feel it everywhere. And I don't like being angry at him, and then my daughter, seeing me angry, try to give me a hug, and me just want to be angry at her because she's trying to coddle my feelings. Like that makes no sense at all, right? So I try not to cross that bridge because it takes me a second to come back. Me personally. We're coming down to our last few minutes here. I guess it kind of. Well, let's start talking about like how we start talking, and then we leave them on cliffhanger about everything. It's like, dude, you gotta come back next time.
So it all started in a small restaurant called Denny's.
This is where we make the noise.
It was one of the more shitty Denny's in the city. She lived maybe like a couple blocks away. I was catching the bus over there. Wasn't getting that much business. I was a waiter. She was a manager when I showed up. And I'm not the type that, shoots my shot immediately. Like I scout, and I'd happen to see her a few times, and I just really, was gravitating to her energy. Like at the time, I was 25, so you were 20. Yeah, you would have been 20. But there's a whole lot of just maturity that I felt from her. Like she's not one of those kind of airhead chicks that don't understand shit about the world. Like she seemed ahead of her time to me.
Went through some shit.
Yeah. But I didn't know that. I had no fucking idea. I didn't find out until we met up years later. But that's what I was attracted to with her. And then, she was thick and beautiful. That helped.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, and then those times we started. So when he met me, I was on my Christ is God kick. I was going through a purification. I had stopped smoking. I had stopped drinking. I'm like, if you're not about God, you're not about my life. I was being abstinent, which I don't know how the fuck I put that shit off. I was fucking like, whoo, shit. That was a maze. I had and I think a little bit after him, I had. Let me see. I met you. Yeah, no, I think I met you a little bit after. A little bit after I started being a vegan, which is I was doing my best to kind of live my best life and to try to be as close to God and the scripture and be as perfect could be. And he met me in my age of, again, no sex, no fucking. And if I was fucking, I was being very selective, like beyond selective, and still being guilty. Like I will fuck, but just like, God, don't kill me. But I'm horny. I can't do this no more. So he met me in my Madden age. Oh no, I think Madden was after you. No, it was before you. It was right before you. Madden. I went on a Madden kick, and I was playing people in Madden. I was playing dudes at Madden, and like that is what I think started to like make people realize that I let dudes over my house, and it was really just playing Madden. But somebody took that challenge, got his ass beat, like fucked up, and then he went back to work saying I fucked him. I'm like, I fucked you up, yeah, but I didn't fuck you, bro. Are you serious? Like, fucking nappy headed ass motherfucker, nah. I remember his face. I can't think of his name, but I met Deezel back in the days where I was just really just trying to be free of stereotypes and free of all of the woes of the world. Like I was trying to be released. Like though my goal was to start breaking generational curses back there. And that he met me in that age. So he met me. He came to me asking to hang out or something. I think it was something really basic. Like it wasn't nothing like obvious. It wasn't like, ooh, be my baby mama. Like it wasn't no shit like that. It was like, can we, click up one day and like try? Because I was a poet back then, and he was a writer. He wrote his music, and he's I guess a local rapper. Like he was a rapper, and he wanted to just kind of connect and see if we could collab on something before. And I had never had nobody ask me that before, and it was weird because a lot of people didn't know I wrote poetry, and if they did, they didn't respect it, so it didn't really go past that. My poetry was always my outlet to deal with life since I was a kid. And so for me, poetry was a lot more sacred than just meeting with people and being like, "Oh, this is what I wrote." Like, no, this is none of your fucking business. It's how I dealt with my life. But he asked to connect, in that realm, and I'm like, well, I guess sure. And I vaguely remember the first time we connected. We was like sitting in my living room. I think I had furniture back then. Did I have furniture? Yeah, I think I had furniture. Like, so it was a come up, bro. Because I promise you, like, my first apartment, only furniture I had was a bed and a kitchen table, and then all I did was fuck and drink shit, drink Grey Goose bottles of everybody, fuck it. But nah, like, so I remember laying on the floor and we were like just collaborating, writing, and I don't remember what we was writing about, but it was just kind of fun just to be in a headspace of not trying to fight for my vagina from nobody and still enjoying my life, like enjoying the moment. Like it wasn't anything weird. I guess it was weird, but it wasn't nothing like that weird. Yeah, it was different. And I remember when you bought me those red high heel shoes that I had, even to the day that my mother threw them away. Like I had never, I think I wore a lot. I wore them once. I had never worn them because I wasn't used to wearing like those 6 inch, like those were real fucking heels. Like, real fucking heels. I'm like, bro, I'm already tall. I'm not sure what I could do with this shit. But I remember that, and I remember the anxiety attack. Before the anxiety attack, I remember you telling me that you loved me without telling me you loved me. Like, telling me you love me without telling me you love me. I'm gonna tell you that story, and then we're gonna have to go. Okay? So, and he doesn't remember, so I'll say the story, and he does not. Okay? All right, great. So we were on the bi-state bus, coming from Missouri, in St. Louis, Missouri, and I probably should have said that. So I'll just redo that and take that St. Louis, Missouri part out because everybody fucking wants something. But I guess you also wore STL hats. So I guess whatever. So never mind. It stays. We were on a bus. We were sitting in the back, and he was sitting in the very, very back. So very back of the bus, like it's facing forward, of course, and there's a whole entire back row. And I was sitting in the seats right in front of him. I wasn't sitting on the same side. Sits right in front of him, and I was looking back, talking to him, and he was telling me about a dream he had. And so back in those days, we both were into wrestling, and I guess you're going back to damn near everybody that's out nowadays. Like you got,
a whole lot of them.
Steve Austin, yeah,
Rock, Undertaker, Batista, Triple
Goldberg,
H.
yeah. Going back to the good old days.
Niggas was on 2 different shows.
Right, like the good old days. And he was like, I had a dream about you. I'm like, what was it about? And he was like, well, it was a Royal Rumble match. And it was like, or it was some kind of match. And it was him versus everybody. And instead of having a title belt as being what you win, the word would have been me. Like, so you had me and you had all these wrestlers that he had to beat to get to me, and you had him. So it was him against the world, and the prize was me. And I'm like, word? The fuck? That's weird. So mind you, in these days, I didn't know he liked me. I thought we were just friends. I didn't realize we were just friends. And so he told me, yeah. And they were like, if you want to get to her, you gotta fight everybody. And bro right here believes in the spear. He believes in the effectiveness. He believes that it will break a motherfucker in half, bro. Like, he believes in the spear. And so he was like, I gotta go against that. And, he had to sit down and think about it for a second. And he was like, all right, let's do it. And so he told me that dream, and I'm thinking to myself, that's a weird dream. And I'm gonna stop right there. So yeah. I hope you guys come back to the next episode. We're gonna try to be on consistent schedule for you, but have a good one. Love, peace, and joy. This is
Waitress.